Start first. What can you tell us is the premise for Heels?
Okay, so Heels is basically wrestling in small town Georgia, and you've got these two brothers at the center of the story, who are kind of rival brothers, and and then you kind of get into the world of their family and their past traumas and maybe some demons they have in the closet and things like that. And then you've got these wrestlers that are around them, and the league, and the pressures that come with that. And so that's the premise, is these two rival brothers, and that's really how the story, you get into it.
What was it about this show then that made you really want to be a part of it?
Man, this show, I mean, it deals with so many different themes, family, loyalty, to your friends and to your family. um, for me, especially playing Diego Cottonmouth, it was, a lot of it came down to that. I channeled some of that loyalty and things that I have in my personal life, and kind of tried to bring it into the onto the screen. So for me, it was really, I was captivated by this. It was the character of Diego Cottonmouth. I was really, I really fell in love with it. And then you've got Michael Malley, you've got Michael Waldron, running the ship. And for me, it's been a complete honor to be, in the same room as those guys.
How does Diego fit into this world then?
Man, Diego to me is kind of like the glue behind the scenes, especially with these cast of characters that he's with. He's with this other wrestler named Apocalypse, who's played by James Harrison, and then you got Rooster, played by Alan, and then you got the new guy coming in, Bobby Pinn. And for me, yeah, I think Diego's really kind of like the voice of reason behind the scenes, and he's always trying to keep all his friends together and keep everyone level headed and chilling, and kind of, he wants everything to go smoothly, but it doesn't always go that way.
Was there something that was described as his original background or his breakdown that really intrigued you about him?
I think it was that thing of him being a heel in the ring, and then outside of the ring, him being more of a chill dude, and really like a lovable teddy bear kind of thing. So that dichotomy between being the bad guy in the ring and then outside of the ring being a good guy, it attracted me.
Was there anything you may have added to Diego then that wasn't there in his initial breakdown?
Yeah, well, actually, so Michael Malley, the showrunner, called me when he first told me I got the part, and he asked me about my background. And my background, I'm Cuban. My parents are Cuban. I was born in Miami, but my parents are Cuban, so my nationality, I got, my culture, I feel like is rooted in the Cuban culture. And so for me, the minute he called me, man, he was like, "If you're Cuban, then Diego's Cuban," because originally Diego was going to be Mexican, heritage. And so, that was a big thing we changed, was that now Diego's real, background is that he's Cuban. So
Yeah,
that was the biggest
Cottonmouth
thing.
isn't really a Cuban last name.
No, 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 no. No, so Cottonmouth is the is kind of like his alter ego, right? It's who his wrestling name is, in the ring. There's not many Cubans with the Cottonmouth name. I'll give you that for sure.
Growing up, were you a wrestling fan at all?
No, no. So I grew up primarily playing baseball since I was 5 years old. That was the main link between me and my dad, was just playing ball, and so I never got into wrestling. I mean, in the Cuban culture, it's not as at the forefront as it is in the Mexican culture,
Right.
or in the American culture, or anything like that. So for me, it was really, I was coming into it as a rookie, man. I didn't know anything about it, and to my surprise, I ended up really loving it. I found that to me, wrestling is a lot like performance art, or like theater. I
Right.
spent many years, doing theater in New York, and it just reminded me of it, being on in the ring, and having all the extras around us, and we're performing there in the center, and it's drama. Wrestling is drama. It's theater. It's 100% theater. So for me, it was a pleasant surprise to find that out.
Yeah, a lot of people actually don't know that much about wrestling. They think it's no one knows how scripted it is.
So scripted, but also, that it's human nature. It's like, there's drama, there's comedy, right? You got different kinds of characters. Some characters are funny. I went to see an AEW show recently, because I got into it, you know. Now I'm buying into to storylines and different characters. And there's that one character, I don't remember his name, but that he has his hands in his pockets. Do you know?
I don't know that one. Yeah.
Oh no, dude. So this guy has his hands in his pockets the whole time. And it's hilarious, and the fans get behind them, and so it's fun, man. I just find it to be a really fun experience to go to one of these live events.
I used to go a lot growing up because my dad worked for the TBS wrestling program, WCW. So I'm very familiar with all the shenanigans and everything that actually goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Yeah.
Very. So coming into this series, were you looking forward to sharing a scene or working with someone in particular?
Yeah, you know, I think for me as an actor, Chris Bauer was the guy. He plays
Yeah.
Wild Bill, and besides the fact that Chris is such a fantastic actor, it's also that character of Wild Bill, you know, to share the screen with him, and I got to do it in episode 8. There's other episodes where I'm kind of in there with him, but it was just me and him, episode 8, for one of the scenes, and yeah, it was an honor to be sharing the screen with Chris Bauer. You know, The Wire. Um, Most recently in the show with James Franco. I just saw him actually too in the movie. I didn't even know he was in it, and then I saw him in this last movie with Denzel Washington.
Right.
And he
He's
just popped up,
basically
and I'm like,
everywhere.
he's everywhere. This guy, yeah, he's the consummate professional, and he's a working actor, and he's a beast, man. So for me, it was an honor to be on screen with him. You're the sweetest.
Very nice. I've been a
Yeah.
fan of his since he was on like Third Watch, which is way
Right.
at the start.
Right. You know, I have a podcast that's coming out at the same time of the show on August 16th, and I'm offering a bunch of behind the scenes with all the actors, but one of them is Chris Bauer, and we go into his career, and it's amazing. This guy's career, man.
He's been in like
It's
everything.
everything. Yeah, everything. I could name anything, and he's on it. You know, it's like. So, and then also there's Mary McCormick. I gotta give it up to Mary as well. Mary McCormick is another legend in our business. So for me to share the screen with both of them has really been, you know, the dream of a lifetime for sure.
Was there anything you found surprisingly challenging about your portrayal of Diego?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if it's so much the portrayal of Diego as it was for me to transition from doing theater acting primarily uh, to then working on screen. You know, there's a little thing that has to happen. You have to kind of adapt to that. And I think for me, especially in those first few scenes that we shot, it was really adapting. I just had to get the rhythm of things, certain verbiage that I'm not aware of. You know, now there's wires everywhere. The camera guy's in my face, right? I'm trying to figure all this out because I'm used to being on stage. I can be free
Right.
with my body. I can do whatever I want. So it wasn't so much Diego as it was the actual craft of working in front of a camera, you know?
What are some episodes that really stand out to you or that maybe viewers should keep an eye out for? Obviously, the premiere, which we have, but
Uh-huh.
are there some other
Uh-huh.
episodes that are really significant to you?
Yeah, I will say the pilot is fantastic, but besides the pilot, I think as the story starts to evolve and you start to go deeper and deeper into these storylines and these characters, it just gets so rich. I think it's episode 5. It might be Chris Bauer. His character has a kind of transformation. I believe it's 5. I believe it's 5, and it's just it's either 4. I think it's 4 or 5. Okay, don't quote me, but one of those two, you're gonna see. I mean, Wild Bill really go through some things, and then for me also, I think episode 8. You know, because there's a twist there that happens. I don't. You know, I'm just gonna leave a little teaser there for everyone that episode 8 is gonna catch you by surprise for sure. Have you seen any of the episodes?
Just the premiere,
Oh,
which I made sure to mention was quite a
okay,
standout.
just the premiere. Okay, cool.
How did you shake off a long day of filming? You mentioned, all of the intricacy that goes into not just your portrayal, but, standing here and being here and the physicality of it all? How did you all shake off a long day of filming?
Man, for me, it was really just going back to the apartment I was staying at and laying low. At the same time that we were filming, my wife was pregnant,
Wow.
and we were expecting our first child. We actually she gave birth in February, and we wrapped in April. So
Oh my
right in the
goodness.
middle of filming, my wife and I had a kid, and so for me, it was
Yeah.
laying low, was trying to keep my mind off of things, and keep the anxiety and the stress at bay. So it was really just chilling. It was just hanging out.
Did you guys spend much time together offset as you did onset? I mean, that's a lot of hours working together, so maybe you wanted a little break after 16 hours on set.
Right, right. Well, you would think so, but because we shot during the
COVID.
pandemic, right? There we couldn't really go out and be out and about in the town, So
True.
we did kind of keep within ourselves, We would go to each other's houses. We would, excuse me, watch UFC fights. We watched one of the Conor McGregor's all together, and then the Super Bowl as well. Um, so for the most part, we enjoyed each other's company. Believe it or not, I mean that doesn't always happen, but with this cast, we were lucky enough that we all did get along.
You're a part of social media. Are you looking forward to that instant fan feedback that's going to start coming your way once episodes start rolling out?
Oh God, uh, I'm a little nervous about it. To be honest, it's an interesting world, the social media realm. But I am excited about it. I think fans are going to really take to the characters, and uh, and so I'm excited, and especially for wrestling fans. I think it's past due. I think it's time that the wrestling world really gets the respect that it deserves, and I think we try to do that on the show. So I'm excited for wrestling fans to see it. Yeah.
I think you just touched on it a bit, but my next question was just going to be, what do you think it is that's going to make it a quick fan favorite series?
Yeah, well, when it comes to the wrestling, it's obvious. I think wrestling fans are gonna love it, because it really is. We took it seriously, and we all really respect the sport and the entertainment of wrestling. So on that end, if you're a wrestling fan, you're gonna love it. And then I think if you're not a wrestling fan too, like I said, I came into it with that. I was not a wrestling fan by any means, but the script and the characters are so rich that regardless of who you are, you're gonna find yourself loving, or find yourself kind of being represented by one of the characters, regardless of whether you know about the wrestling world or not. So I think it's got a little bit of everything for everyone.
You mentioned your podcast that's coming
Yeah.
up. Is there anything else you've been busy working on, or maybe you can tell us a little bit more about the podcast as well?
So I got two things coming up. So the podcast comes out every Monday on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon Music. It's called Dropping Character with Robbie Ramos. And
Cool.
like I said, we have the whole we have. Well, I don't want to give too much out here, but I'll just say that many of the people from the show are going to be on it. But then we also have some other people that aren't from the show. Just people in the entertainment business that um, I really got them to speak about how they make their living, and how they came up in the business of acting and the theater world and the film. So I've got that coming out. It's every Monday, starting August 16th. And
Okay.
then besides that, I wrote a play called The Walls Have Ears that's loosely based on my grandfather's experience in Cuba, being a political prisoner, and
Wow.
Cuba being at the forefront right now. It's important that we get these stories out about what's really happening on the island, and how people are being affected on there by the government. And so that play, we're doing a reading on the 23rd in Miami, um, and hopefully we'll get that produced soon.
Well, what would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work that you do?
Oh man, anyone who's a fan out there, my two fans, no, I gotta say that, for me, everything that I do, regardless of it being on stage or on a podcast or on TV, is I'm gonna bring as much of myself and as much love and authenticity as I can to everything that I do. So you know, whoever wants to support, thank you so much, man. I'm here for it, and I'm gonna keep, you know, putting my 2 feet to the ground and working.